All right. Get straight into it this week. We're back. SportsmanlikeConduct. Good news for Celtics fans. As we found out on day one of the season, nothing has changed. We're still better than the Heat.
Yeah.
Lot of season left. What does Miami have to do to feel like they can eventually beat the Celtics in a 7-game series at the end of the season? Because that's the goal.
There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
I mean,
if you take these 2 games they played and just use that to go off of in a 7-game series, to me, the Celtics would just completely sweep the Heat. And to me, the Celtics they played too good team basketball. They have too much presence in the paint. They're too smart for the Heat. I mean, the Heat don't impress me at all. They just don't. They don't impress me. They can put up some points against some mediocre teams, but against a team like the Celtics, Celtics aren't going to have it.
This is the difference between that Heat and the Celtics to me. The Heat with LeBron and Dwayne Wade are amazing athletes, doing amazing things on the basketball court and making amazing plays.
There's no debating.
But they're not out there playing championship basketball. The Celtics are great basketball players. They're not nearly in the.
I think Wade's a good basketball player.
Wade's a good basketball player. Wade is a good basketball player. They're all good basketball players. Are they championship basketball players? They're not. They're not a team of championship basketball players. They're not playing that level basketball all around.
Yeah,
smart, winning, defensive. Take care of the ball. Know your spots and know your role. And their teamwork isn't there.
That's what's hurting the Heat too. I think they don't have. Bosh is doing his thing or whatever, but it's Wade and LeBron. They have to figure out who's going to be the guy. Like, who's going to be the one that's going to be the leader. I feel like, and you don't see it, but I feel like they're almost like banging heads, but they're not. I mean, I guess that's a bad term to use, but it's one scores 40 points the one night, and then one scores 40 points the other night. I think you've got to find some consistency with that team, and it's Wade's team. I think LeBron went to Miami because he doesn't want to be that guy. I feel like he wants. I think Wade just needs to look. This is how it's going to be. I'm going to run it, and we're going to feed off me. Or LeBron's at something's got to happen because this whole back and forth.
I don't know that it's that. I don't know that it's that type of dynamic that's causing them the problem. I think it's more of a bigger picture thing where they just don't have that all out desire that they'd rather die than not win the NBA championship. I feel like the Celtics play like they'd honestly rather die than not win the championship. That it means that much to them. For whatever reason, I'm not getting that the Heat have that sense of urgency.
Take the Jazz game, for instance. I mean, they let the Jazz come back into the game after being up 20-something points, during the game, and they let them come back. And watching the game, I watched the fourth quarter of the game, and there's no enthusiasm on the Heat side of the ball. I mean, they're just out there. I feel like it's all individual, to me. It's all just, I'm gonna get my triple double, and I don't care if we win or lose. I mean,
I don't know.
I understand that they care that they lose, but it just doesn't seem that you don't see it on the court.
Right.
If you don't see it on the court, then it's not going to translate into your play. Yeah. Period. That's what I mean.
They're still trying to find their identity. When it all comes down to it, I think that's it. They're going to try to find their identity.
And they've got to find some answer to defend people driving to the lane on their defense. And
LeBron can't come from the weak side on every play to make blocks. That's not as good as he is at that, and he's awesome at that. That's not. Winning basketball,
no.
Having
there's no way that's going to work
as your weak side.
There's no way it's going to work.
It's not. They need to have. Ilgauskas is not a defensive post presence at all.
No,
he gets good. He's good at getting rebounds, and he's really good on the offensive glass. But he's getting pretty old at this point. It's just Haslam's a banger and a grinder, but he's undersized. Mm-hmm. And he does good things. He plays winning basketball. There's no denying that. They got a lot of guys that play winning basketball, but I still think there's a chance for them to figure it out. I think they got to forge their own identity, because I don't feel like the Lakers play they don't necessarily play like they'd rather die than win that championship, but they know exactly how they're going to beat you.
Yeah,
the Heat. I don't think they figured out. You have to know going into a game, like when we step on this court, this is how we're going to beat you, and we're going to play our way, and we're going to beat you like this. The Lakers, that's exactly what the Lakers do.
And that's what
exactly
the Celtics do.
The Heat don't know like how they're going to beat you on any given night.
I feel like they rely too much on the two superstars to me, and maybe it's just I'm saying it because I haven't watched all their games, so maybe I'm just kind of like I'm looking at the highlights and seeing what ESPN's showing or whatever, but I think they're relying too much on Wade and LeBron to carry the team, and maybe they don't really need to do that so much, and maybe they don't have to do that. I mean, I know Wade and LeBron are good in their own right, but they've got some people that can shoot the ball. They've got some players on that team. I mean, Haslam. They've got some three-point shooters.
I actually think it's the opposite. I think LeBron's not trying to do enough. I think LeBron right now is trying to get all the other guys involved too much, rather than going out there and making the game his. I haven't seen LeBron do that at all this year. Like normally when I watch LeBron play, like I used to love. This year's different. Yeah, when LeBron was on the Cavs, I honestly used to get excited to watch Cavs games because I really had it in my mind. Oh my God, what kind of amazing stuff is LeBron going to do out there tonight? Now that he's on the Heat, for whatever reason, I don't know why, that thought just doesn't come into my mind. Like, oh yeah, I can't wait to watch Heat. What kind of how is LeBron going to blow my mind tonight? I don't feel like that when I watch the Heat, though. But for some reason, I did when I watched the Cavs, because I think when LeBron was on the Cavs, he wanted to go out there every night and make that game his own.
Well, he had to.
Yeah.
For them to win.
Right.
He had to. There's no two ways about it.
He's got to want to with the Heat still, though.
I think he wants to. I don't know if he...
Yeah, that's what I agree. I agree. I think he still wants to, but I do think he's trying to get everyone else more involved. And one thing I do think is a problem is that twice now this season they've given the ball to Eddie House in the last shot of the game in a game-winning situation. Yeah. I love Eddie House, one of my favorite players of all time, but
Dwayne Wade has to get the ball.
Or LeBron. Yeah. One of those guys has to get the ball. Yeah. You cannot go to Eddie House in those situations. I'm going to Wade. If it's me. And I think that Wade, LeBron, and Eric Spoelstra all get equal blame in that situation, because I don't think if you're Spoelstra, you can't draw up a play for you can't draw up a play for Eddie House in that situation. No. You've got to go to either Wade or LeBron. B, and C, if you're Wade or LeBron, you can't let Eric Spoelstra draw up a play for Eddie House and not say the hell with that. Yeah. No, you can't. Like, you got to take charge at some point. I just don't see it. The very first time they did it, it was against. I think it was the New Orleans game, and they ended up losing that game, and Eddie House took the last shot. And then they did it again in the Utah game last night, twice now. And that, to me, that's just a ridiculously telling sign to me. Like, in a team with those superstars on it, that just shouldn't happen to me. Am I wrong?
No. I don't know if they're trying to outsmart. I don't know. Like, the other team thinks it's going to go to LeBron or Wade, and then they're giving it. Are they trying to trick the other team? I mean, I don't know the logic behind it, because I'm not Eric Spoelstra. I don't know. I really have no idea. No, you're not wrong. To answer your question, you're not wrong.
I don't think they brought LeBron and Dwayne Wade in to be decoys when the game is
on. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I can think that you could. Not even logically.
And I know their shooting is improved. I mean, obviously, it's situations where you do need 3-pointers, and obviously LeBron and Dwayne Wade are not high percentage 3-point shooters, but you got to give these guys a chance, and especially LeBron and Dwayne Wade, to elevate their game in the clutch, and make these clutch shots. Yeah. They're not going to win a championship with Eddie House taking last-second shots all through the playoffs. No. That's not going to happen. No. I don't know what
something's got to change with that team,
situations,
or they're in trouble and come the playoffs. Period. I mean, I think
they got to find an identity. I think it's identity thing.
They can beat some of the middle of the road teams in that division, in the East, in a 7-game series. Oh yeah. But they're not beating the Celtics in the 7-game series. They're just not. It's not going to happen. There's no way in my mind that can happen. Period.
We got 5 seconds.
So something's got to change.
All I can say is that all that Van Gundy 72-win cruise to the championship talk, that's out the window.
Throw that out the window.
Forget that.
Throw it out the window.
So, all right, we just spent 10 minutes talking about Miami struggles. We're going to do another 10 minutes talking about how good the Celtics are.
Okay, fine. We can do that.
Because I want to.
Okay.